If you're staying at the Universal Orlando Resort for an upcoming vacation, you might want to stay at one of their two new prime value hotels, the Stella Nova or the Terra Luna. Now on the outside, these colorful tile hotels look almost exactly the same, and the general layout for the hotel is also the same. So why is there a difference between going to one or the other? There are some slight differences, not only from the lobby design and where you get your food, but even where the hotels are situated on the Universal property that might make you want to choose one hotel or the other. When it comes down to the rooms, the Stella Nova and the Terra Luna rooms are basically the exact same thing. Their layout is almost exact. The design is going to be slightly different, but I do have to say slight. Both of these rooms are going to have sensor lights, so these lights are going to automatically turn on and turn off when it comes to movement. You might be a fan of this, you might not. They are a little sensitive, so just so you know, if you get up in the middle of the night, the bathroom light might come on with you. As you're inside of the rooms, there is no suites, so all of the rooms are going to look the exact same no matter what floor, no matter which of these two hotels, but you can get connecting rooms, so if you do want a standard room and a standard room, there is a door that connects those two without you having to go into the hallway if you're trying to get a bigger space. There are no suites available at either Stella Nova or Terra Luna. Now, here's some things that both of these hotels also have. They both are going to have two different spots to be able to grab food on the inside. They're both going to have a grill and a bar by the pool. They both have a bar inside the lobby, and they both have a merchandise area where you can get exclusive early access to Universal Epic Universe merchandise if you don't want to have to get it in the park. One of those options, the amazing Toad hats. If you're a fan of Super Nintendo World or of any of the lands that are going to be inside of that park, you can get some in-park merchandise. One of them being this crazy, obnoxious hat. There's plenty of versions for all of the different Nintendo characters. One important thing that both hotels also have are these refillable mugs. These are going to be $19 for 3 days, and you can fill this up with a bunch of different sodas. We also got teas and coffees, and it's unlimited refills at your hotel specifically for 3 days up to $19, and then there's increasing pricing depending on how long you're going to be staying there. But for $19 for this one cup, you don't have to wait like an hour to get your next refill. It is just non-stop unlimited refills. I think this was well worth the $19 when we stayed there for 2 days at the Stella Nova. There's also a Terra Luna version. They look the exact same except for small graphic design changes, but generally the exact same thing. Another thing that you should know, this is actually different between the two. They both are going to have a bar out by the pool. Now, the Stella Nova is going to sell these little drink glasses. Every time you get a cocktail, it's going to come in one of these little collectible mugs. But the Terra Luna does not do that. I'm kind of thankful that the Terra Luna doesn't, because the Stella Novas are going to be a little more expensive. Every time you get a cocktail, you get this cup. Even if you get another cocktail, you get another cup. So if you're going to get 5 or 6 cocktails between a whole family or a whole party, you're going to collect a lot of these cups. I like the Terra Luna opened a few months later. They no longer offer that. You still can get your drinks, and you can pay an additional $1 if you want the Terra Luna version of this cup, but you don't have to get it. I think that's a better option. Both of these hotels, for their poolside bars, are going to have a long collection of both wines, beers, cocktails, and mocktails. And then, of course, they have options on the inside as well at the bars indoors for the lobby. Both hotels will have that. When it comes to food, they're both going to have a quick service option, so you can go up and order at a counter, or you can do mobile ordering and go and grab some of those items. Neither of the hotels are going to have a spot with waiters and sit-down service. They both are also going to have a grab-and-go area that offers Starbucks coffee. You can get ice cream, you can get little desserts, quick breakfast items, and stuff like that. And they both are also going to have a grill that's open for a limited time by the pool to be able to grab some options. The Stella Nova, its hot tub is farther away from the main pool than Terra Luna. The Stella Nova hot tub, because it's farther away, it's closer to that bar, and it's a little bit more secluded if you want more of an adult time or less time where you're going to be able to be right up on the pool near some of that noise. But if you're a parent that's trying to be in the hot tub and also keep an eye on the main pool, it might be something you prefer at the Terra Luna. Their hot tub is actually stuck right in the middle. It is in the middle of the pool. It has a perfect view of looking out over that pool area. And so there you will have a better view if you're someone that wants to sit there and let your kids freely swim, but be able to make sure that you're really, really close with eye contact. The Stella Nova is going to have a little kids water play area where just fountains jump up and down. The Terra Luna does not have that. Instead, there's more focus on the pool space itself. Another difference is that the Stella Nova Hotel has very easy walking to Universal Epic Universe. Now, both hotels can walk to Universal Epic Universe, but the Terra Luna walk will be easily twice as long. The Terra Luna, you're going to have to walk out and go to a public road, cross part of that road, and then go over to Stella Nova, and then walk. Where the Stella Nova, you go out from the lobby, take a right, and it's almost a straight shot straight to the park. While we can't yet, as of making this video, we could not walk straight to the park as it hasn't yet opened. It's very close. It would probably be about a 10-minute walk, maybe 15 if it's a really busy day and there's a lot of pedestrian traffic, but it's not a long walk. Definitely something that I would suggest over taking the bus unless you really need that assistance to be able to get to the park. Now, both Stella Nova and Terra Luna are going to have bus transportation both to Epic Universe as well as Universal City Walk, where you can go to the other parks and you can check out Volcano Bay, City Walk, stuff like that. So they both have bus transportation and they both technically have walking options. It's just that the Stella Nova is a much, much quicker route. Another difference between the two is going to be the layout of the downstairs, the lobby, and where you get your food and stuff. So the Stella Nova is all about the stars and looking up into the galaxies. It's a lot of whites, blacks, and blues. The Terra Luna is going to be a lot about planets, so there are a lot of oranges, a lot of greens, a lot of wood and texture. While the design aspect might not seem like a really big deal, it does feel a little bit different. The Stella Nova to me feels a lot more streamlined, a lot more fast, a lot more convention focused, a lot more the family that wants to get up and run to the park in the morning. It seems like the way that that is set up, because when you go in it kind of splits in half, there's definitely areas and pockets that are more small group focused. Where the Terra Luna has a lot more calming colors, it's going to have a lot of wide open spots to be able to eat. A majority of all of their dining is in one singular spot. Now, this could be a positive or a negative for you. I think it's a positive if you're a large family. It's easy to grab your food, see all of your dining options, and pick a spot. Or you might prefer the Stella Nova if you're in a smaller group or not necessarily with younger kids, because then there's kind of small lounger areas where you can grab your food and kind of go into this little pocket or that little pocket. That'll really be up to personal preference, and it kind of comes down to what you want to do. But for larger families, specifically with a lot of younger kids, it might be better to have one wide open space, and in that sense, I feel that the Terra Luna is a little better. It seems to be more focused on one big space, and the fact that the hotel itself wraps around the pool, it kind of feels like the pool and the dining area and the lobby, they're all one gigantic interconnected thing. To me, Terra Luna is a little bit of a slower, more calm, relaxing style vacation, where the Stella Nova seems a lot more focused on go to sleep, grab your food, go to the park. And in that sense, it kind of works out, because if you're someone that wants to just use it as a place to sleep, both the Stella Nova and the Terra Luna do get early park access to Universal Epic Universe and select Universal parks on select days. You'll have to check for your exact date to know, but that is an option. The Stella Nova being right towards the park and feeling like it's a little bit more of a sped up option, just because of the colors and the way that things are situated. To me, in my personal opinion, after staying at both of the hotels, Stella Nova to me feels like the family that wakes up at 6 in the morning, they run downstairs, they grab their coffee, and they bolt to the park. They want to be the first person in the park. The Terra Luna, because it's farther away, you might not walk that distance, so instead you might take the bus, and it to me feels more like a hotel that is around the pool, and you take your time, and you get your breakfast in the morning. We'll get to the park when we get to the park. So, while maybe not for everyone, that's the way that the hotels felt to me, just the way that they're situated land-wise, the way that the coloring was, the way that they're laid out. Some of them seem more laid-back resort style when we come to the Terra Luna, and some seem more priority-focused when it comes to Universal Epic Universe for its distance and just the way that the lobby and everything is laid out. Both of the hotels are going to offer views of the pool and views of the parking lot, but really, the view is of Universal Epic Universe. They're going to call it the parking lot view. It's going to be cheaper. In my personal opinion, as a theme park fan, I would much rather look over the parking lot into Universal Epic Universe than I would look at a pool with the Orange County Convention Center in the distance. It's a beautiful convention center, but it's not as cool as Universal Epic Universe, and if you can pay less money to have a better view, that's the one I'm going to pick. Both hotels on the third floor are going to have a fun little hidden area. If you go up to the third floor, there's going to be a hallway. It's an architectural hallway just based on how the lobby is built, but they're going to have a little like a photo op there. It's a hallway with special lights and things on the ceiling if you want to get that. And then both of them are going to have, as I said, views towards Epic Universe. Not every room is going to have the most perfect view. Sometimes the way the buildings are curved or twisted, you might have to sit a certain way. When it comes to the Terra Luna specifically, my room was actually facing out towards the Stella Nova Hotel. When I first walked in, I saw this and I said, that's okay, I don't need to necessarily look at the park. I can see the other hotel, that's fine. But when I got in the bed and actually laid down in bed, my view was perfect for looking at Universal Epic Universe. To me, that ended up being a plus because it meant that I could just sit in bed and kind of look out over this park. When it comes to you, you can make that decision, but really your room, it's a little back and forth. If you want to know the exact room where this view is, this is room 9068. 9068 on the top floor for the Universal Terra Luna. Again, this is the view that we're going to have when you're sitting in bed looking out towards the park. I personally loved it, but maybe you're someone that enjoys a pool view and you can request that when you get it. One thing that is similar about both hotels is the incredible service of the Universal team members. Both times when I stayed, it was during the opening day and opening week, and so stuff can happen. For a grand opening, maybe this doesn't work in the room or something gets changed. Every single time I had a problem, I was very, very quickly, that problem was fixed. They were quick to apologize, they'd find solutions, and so I really appreciated that. Both hotels also do have a service where you can text directly to your phone to the front desk if you have questions or you need something, maybe something for the room. Something could be wrong, maybe you need something extra like an extra pillow. I liked being able to text it on my phone. It just made it a quick and swift option. It's important to mention, they do charge for parking. So you are going to have to pay to park unless you take an Uber or a Lyft or something else. So that is something that's going to be charged on top. It's $30 as of making this video. I'm not the biggest fan of parking fees, but it is what it is. That's their charge. These two hotels, as I said, are in the prime value level. So that means that you are going to be able to get some perks, not all of the perks. The top level hotels at the Universal Orlando Resort, kind of like Universal's Portofino Bay or the Hard Rock, those hotels are going to come with the Express Unlimited Pass that will allow you to get the Express Skip the Line Pass into certain attractions at certain parks. You will not get this at the Universal Stella Nova or the Terra Luna. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, I think that both of these hotels are a good option, and I think there's just those few key factors that matter. The differences that mattered to me, and they might matter to you, is the layout, the pools, the walk. I think those are the three biggest deciding factors that might matter for people. Number one, we've got the pool. Do you want the hot tub to be a little bit more separate, or do you want it to be right there? That's why I say the Terra Luna felt a little more family friendly, because it felt like everything was wrapped around that pool and very much so within my eyesight at all times. The Stella Nova, you can still see, it's just things felt a little bit more separated out in that sense. The farthest two things apart at the Stella Nova, the hot tub and the kids' water play area, are very, very distant. You really could not keep an eye on someone if you were in the hot tub at that point. The next is going to be the general layout for the bottom floor. This is kind of opinionated because, the layout you might not feel the same, but just because the Stella Nova had more of a focus on lounge areas and smaller spots, it just felt like they were a little bit more separated. There's still a large dining space, but the Terra Luna had a bigger dining space that just felt more one singular area. For large families that you want to grab that booth and be able to just see your family and go straight to it, that is, again, where I kind of push larger families or families that aren't rushing the park kind of towards the Terra Luna Hotel. If you're a family that just cares about the park and you are falling asleep and waking up, the Universal Helios Grand is another option, a more expensive option that'll be actually attached to Epic Universe. But if you're looking for a more budget-friendly option to stay for about $200 or less at the Stella Nova, to be walking distance to that park, to get early park entry and have busing to the other parks, I think that is a great option for those families that are they're here for the park, right? The Terra Luna also has walking, also has buses, but it's not going to be as close, and I truly feel like the Terra Luna just leans itself a little bit more into a slightly more laid-back vacation. As we know, going to a theme park is not the same thing as laying on a beach. They're more of a trip, maybe less of a vacation sometimes. And you're definitely doing a lot, you're walking a lot, there's a lot of energy. But of the two hotels, it felt that the Terra Luna, with both its design, its layout, and the way that it was situated, felt a little bit more a little more relaxing in that sense, where it felt less about we got to get to the theme park and more about this is our hotel for the time. Let's swim in the pool, let's enjoy the hot tub, let's get the food. That's my personal opinion. Maybe you'll have a different decision, but you can head to the EYNTK.info website if you want to read more and read just kind of what I said here in a text drop-down version. You can go and read the article and kind of look at some of the pictures, check out some more of the hotel and see what exactly fits for you and your group when you visit. I think that both hotels are a quality option, especially for the price, especially if you're a Florida resident or an annual pass holder for Universal. They're close to Universal Epic Universe. It's an amazing new park. What are you going to pick?